Whether you stay healthy into your 90s depends on one thing: whether your blood vessels have been inflamed for years. This isn't a metaphor, it's a medical fact. Some people are running marathons at 90, while others are already sick at 50. The real difference isn't how many supplements you take. It's whether there's a slow-burning fire inside your blood vessels that's been ignored for decades. In this video, no empty motivation, just 3 real things you need to know. First, what actually causes blood vessels to age? Second, 3 foods you can start eating today. And third, how to eat them so they really reduce inflammation. But first, here's a counterintuitive truth. Clogged arteries may have nothing to do with eating too much meat. A lot of people hear they have plaque and immediately think, I have to stop eating meat. But today, I want you to let go of that guilt for a moment. Think of the inside of your blood vessels like a high-quality non-stick pan. That smooth coating is your vascular lining. As long as that coating is intact, cholesterol just flows by. It doesn't stick. So why do some people who barely eat meat still develop plaque? The problem isn't the meat, it's the damage to that lining. Chronic inflammation is like an invisible steel scrubber. Every day, it quietly scrapes the inside of your blood vessels. You don't feel it happening, but over 3, 5, 10 years, that protective layer gets worn down. That's when bad cholesterol starts slipping into those damaged spots, building up little by little until plaque forms. So it's not that fat clogs your arteries first. The vessel gets injured first, and fat simply takes advantage of the damage. So where does this slow-burning fire come from? Number 1, belly fat. Visceral fat is the biggest inflammation factory in the body. It constantly releases inflammatory signals into your bloodstream. Number 2, sitting too much. When you sit all day, your muscles stop producing anti-inflammatory compounds. Add poor sleep, chronic stress, and negative emotions, even dental and gum problems, all of them quietly keep feeding that fire. So what can we do? Anti-inflammatory foods work like adding a protective layer back onto that scratched pan. And the next 3 foods are things you can start eating today. First, nuts. But chances are you're eating them the wrong way. Walnuts and almonds are powerful anti-inflammatory foods, rich in omega-3s and polyphenols. But there are 2 things you really need to remember. First, never peel off that thin, dark skin on walnuts. About 90% of the antioxidants are actually in that skin. Second, just a small handful a day, about 20 to 30 grams. If you eat a big handful every day, you're not fighting inflammation, you're stressing your body. Nuts are calorie-dense, and too much can actually increase inflammation. Second, fruit. But not all fruits reduce inflammation. A lot of people think eating more fruit is always healthy, but that's actually not true. Many high-sugar fruits can actually add fuel to inflammation. The real anti-inflammatory heroes are berries, like blueberries, strawberries, and cranberries. They're low in sugar but rich in natural anti-inflammatory compounds like oleic acid. Here's an easy rule. The darker the color, the stronger the anti-inflammatory effect. Third, olive oil, but you may have been using the wrong kind. Most people know that olive oil is the heart of the Mediterranean diet, but here's the problem: not all olive oil is actually healthy. A lot of supermarket olive oils are heavily heat processed. The beneficial compounds are basically destroyed by heat. What you want is extra virgin olive oil, and it's best used raw or for low-temperature cooking. Once you cook it at high heat, the anti-inflammatory benefits are gone. Those 3 we just talked about are things you can start doing today. Now I'm going to list the full top 10 anti-inflammatory foods. Feel free to screenshot this and save it. Category 1, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. They're rich in omega-3s. Category 2, dark leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, purple cabbage, packed with flavonoids and antioxidants. Category 3, berries,
blueberries, strawberries, cranberries, low in sugar and naturally anti-inflammatory. Category 4, whole grains like oats, brown rice, and quinoa. The fiber feeds your gut bacteria. Category 5, nuts, walnuts, and almonds. Remember, just a small handful, and don't peel off the skin. Category 6, spices like turmeric, cinnamon, and garlic. Turmeric works best when paired with black pepper. Category 7, extra virgin olive oil, rich in healthy monounsaturated fats. Category 8, fermented foods, like naturally fermented pickles and natto, great for gut health. Category 9, green tea. Its catechins help block inflammatory pathways. Category 10, foods rich in trace minerals, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, and avocados.
Taking care of your blood vessels really isn't that complicated. It's not about how expensive your supplements are. It's about the choices you make at every meal, every day. Once you've bought the right foods, the next question is, how do you cook them without wasting their benefits? Just remember 2 key words: low heat and minimal processing. So how do you cook in a way that actually keeps the nutrition inside the food? An anti-inflammatory diet wouldn't be complete without this creamy, nourishing salmon stew. First, pat the salmon dry and cut it into large chunks. Season with a little black pepper and sea salt, then let it rest for about 10 minutes. Cut the carrots into chunks and finely chop the onion. You can also add some mushrooms for extra texture and flavor. Heat the pan well, then add the salmon. Keep the heat high so the salmon doesn't stick. Once both sides are golden, take the salmon out and set it aside. Add a small piece of butter to the pan and saute the onion until fragrant. Then add all the vegetables and give them a quick stir. Add 2 bay leaves and sprinkle in 1 spoon of flour. Pour in a splash of wine to add a light fruity aroma. Stir everything well, then add some hot water. Season with a bit more sea salt and black pepper. Cover and let it simmer on low heat for about 15 minutes. Once time's up, add the blanched broccoli and the salmon back in. Pour in about 100 milliliters of milk or light cream. Let it simmer for another 5 minutes, then turn off the heat. The result is a salmon stew that's rich in nutrients and wonderfully creamy. If you've stayed until the end, thank you. I really appreciate it. This channel isn't about fear, and it's not about selling miracle solutions. I just want to share simple, realistic ways to make health part of everyday life. If you found even a little value in this video, feel free to like and subscribe. It really supports me. I'll keep breaking down complex health topics into clear, practical ideas. I'll see you in the next video.